Dun da da da! The Daily Nail Tutorials! Today's tutorial is I've Gotta Go number 2! As you can see, I started off by painting my nail the yellow color of the pencil. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Zoya Arizona and I'm going to paint two stripes half the length of the nail, kind of dividing the nail in thirds. And those are going to be the angles of the pencil. And then what I'm going to do is on each side of the middle one, I'm going to kind of shade it a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just kind of gives it a little texture and a little bit of dimension. So now that we have that done, I'm going to take my Rescue Beauty Lounge in Square Pants, and I'm just going to put a little bit of a highlight on the middle section of the pencil. Nothing too drastic. Next, I'm going to take my ORLY in Pink Chocolate, and we don't need an art brush for this. We're just going to use the brush that comes in the bottle, and I'm going to paint across the top between quarter and third of the nail, depending how big you want your eraser to be. And the line here doesn't have to be perfect because you're going to be covering it up with the middle part of the pencil next. So we're going to take our China Glaze in Millennium and paint over the middle section of between the pencil and the eraser. So make sure you cover up the edges of the shading and the edge of the eraser so you get cleaner lines. And while you could use just the brush that comes in the bottle for this, I like using a nail art brush because you get a little bit of the back and forth texture for it. And you could stop right here if you don't want to do any more detail. But what I'm going to do now is mix some American Apparel Hassid with the China Glaze Millennium. And I'm going to paint the ridges in the metal part of the pencil. First I'm going to paint a stripe at the very base of the metal part, and then I'm going to paint a stripe at the very top of the metal part. Then I'll just do some swishes in between to kind of give it some texture. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that same color I just mixed and put a few dots on the middle of the metal part to make the indentations that where the eraser is held in. And then I'm going to take my ORLY Pink Chocolate and mix it with some American Apparel Hassid. I'm going to put a thin line at the base of the eraser where it meets the metal part. Just kind of gives it a little bit more dimension and a little bit of shadow. Next I'm going to take my Seche Vite top coat and I'm going to put one coat of it over my nail art to seal in the eraserness. And if you really want to get crazy, you can take a matte top coat and put it over the top of the eraser part and make it look like a real eraser. Since I got a little paint on my cuticles, I've dipped my flat stiff-bristled brush in some acetone and I'm just using it to swipe along the edges of the nail to clean up any stray nail polish. And then we're done. And then you can have a super cool new back-to-school design for you or your kids. Thanks for checking out this tutorial. If you want to see more crazy designs from pickles to pimples to Warhols, check out thedailynailblog.com or follow me on Twitter @dailynail.